Yeah.
Here is my people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My speech cards. Direct quotes. According to CNN Tech, many critics believe that video games are bad for children and that there is no artistic or educational value. There are negative and positive effects of a child playing a video game, but it's the parent's responsibility to know what type of video game their child is playing to make sure that it's age appropriate. Also, they need to monitor their time that the child is spending playing video games. Most importantly, parents need to think of alternative family activities that they can do together besides the child always playing video games. The positive effects of a child playing a video game is that it could be a good learning tool. It can help the child follow instructions better. Also, it can help the child become a multitasker, doing a variety of things at once. It can also help the child be a critical thinker. It can help the child solve problems and logic. It can also help the child use their brain to make quicker decisions. Another positive effect of a child playing a video game is that it can help the physical ability of the child. They can use better hand and eye coordination. Also, there's a lot of video gaming systems that we have today that the child can actually act like the controller, so they're moving their body as the video game goes along. There are negative effects of a child playing a video game, and the most common one is geared towards violent video games. Violent video games can increase the aggression in the behavior of a child. Also, it can make the child have aggressive language. Also, there is no moral consequences to be taught when a child is playing violent video games, because when they're playing a violent video game, they can shoot someone in the video game and they don't get penalized for it. Instead, they get points. But in the real world, if you shoot someone, you go to jail. So there's really no morals to be taught there. Another negative effect of a child playing video games is that it lacks the socialization with them with other children, because they're too busy playing video games, they're not socializing enough with other children. Another negative effect is that it could cause health problems. It can result into obesity. Also, it can result and cause some seizures or muscular disorders. It's the parent's responsibility to review the ratings on the video game. The entertainment software has ratings on each video game. I'll give you a few examples. EC is for early child, that's for ages 3 and up. That has basically just animation and comical content. Then you have E for every child ages 6 and up. It has very minimal language and content and more animation and comical. Then you have T for teen, which is 13 and up, and that is, it has about, mild to strong language and violent content. And then you have A, O is adult only. But parents should do more than just read the rating on the video game. Maybe they need to do additional research to see how, to see what that video game is all about. Also, maybe rent the video game before purchasing it. Excuse me. Parents also need to be responsible and monitor the time that their child is playing video games. Maybe start a log tracking their hours to see how long or how much time they're spending on video games. This way the parent can think of alternative activities that the child can do to kind of create that balance. Some of the alternative activities that parents can think of to do with their children is maybe take them to the library or museum, maybe volunteer at a homeless shelter, nursing home, or an animal shelter, or maybe just cooking or doing crafts with your child. know that video games is not always negative. There are some positive effects as well, but it's the parents' responsibility to make sure they know what type of video games their child is playing and also how much time their child is spending on video games. I encourage you to take this into consideration when the next time your child plays video games.